Hello and welcome to tedyCINÜMAsaloon presents AaryanTalks. I'm your Aryan, the world's best audience. Today's segment is AaryanTalks, and we have a very interesting guest with us. But before that, let me tell you, this channel is started by two people, Teddy Aryan, who love cinema and breathe cinema. And tedyCINÜMAsaloon is a community of people belonging to film fraternity, ranging from artists to filmmakers, from musicians to camera guys, whatnot, everyone, and we're spread across all over the country and someday aiming to go global as well. And like I promised, today we have an interesting guest with us. This woman is a multi talented personality. She started off as a dancer and then directly starred in the greatest Telugu cinema blockbuster, Bahubali, and then Yatra. And tomorrow, another big name has been added to her list, Vishwambara. This woman seems to have Midas touch of success. The perfect definition of an actor that I've come across is if you're playing something which you're not, then you're a good actor. And this woman is known to play the roles which are beyond her age. Now, let's welcome ASHRITA VEMUGANTI. Welcome to our show, ma'am. First of all, thank you for agreeing to do our show.
Thank you, Aryan, from the bottom of my heart. When Irwin asked me, I was more than happy to be a part of this. Yeah.
Sure, ma'am. Uh, First of all, very rarely, when I call people and ask them for the interview, very few people are so much eager. The way giving is there, right? Giving, the art of giving, that is what I call. That is very rare in people, ma'am. That was very beautifully in my ear. That sounded very beautiful in my ears, I have to tell you. So, was welcome to our show.
Actually, beautifully said. It's a very nice way to put it, art of giving, which usually in commercial space is not very common.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. And I think it's always, we can work on everything else by ourselves, but for this to grow, I think we need to really engage in intellectual content. I think the world needs it. Everybody is smart enough, people understand everything. We
Hmm.
are just lazy to go out of the comfort zone.
Hmm.
And for that, I feel we must have uncomfortable conversations sometimes.
Definitely. We try not going into that uncomfortable zone, but yeah, somewhat will be there.
Yeah,
Uh,
you know, I just said it to sound controversial, but I basically meant
okay.
fact
Okay.
talk.
Yeah, we don't do that YouTube thumbnail thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Ashita, it was Idi Handi.
If it was that, I don't think I would have also said yes because I recognize
Sure, sure.
very well. I've been a victim of those thumbnail interviews,
Oh,
and it's pretty painful. It's so painful. Yeah, yeah.
right. Sure, ma'am. So let's start off the interview. One thing I ask to every guest who appeared on Aryan Talk Show is this common question, and the answer is up to you. By the way, you can elaborate so much. Like you can speak for 15 minutes. The question is, why do you do what you do?
Um, because it is what I know. I know. I do what I know.
Right, ma'am. Do you get anything from it? Like, let's say some people look for fame, some people look for money. What is it when you, let's say, forget acting, even dance? What is it that you get?
I think only dance to an extent, I would say, gives me that spiritual upliftment that people talk about. But everything else that I do, I think I'm doing it for. I feel it's a lie when people say no, it's not for the fame name. I'm only here for the acting part. Of course, we all love the craft, but I think we are all somewhere hungry for because somewhere while growing up, it is there in our conditioning. We have seen stardom of others. We know
Mm,
what the glam thing is.
definitely.
So yeah, there'll always be. I grew up in the 90s, so for 90s kids, you know, we belong to the Sridevi Madhuri era, right? Or Shahrukh, or down south it was the Chiranjeevi sir and all these people. So you grow up watching them, you grow up emulating them. So it's a part of your subconscious, it's a part of your psyche. And God's grace, I am in the field of this thing. But what I would like to say is, as much as all the things that you said, I mean, secretly, I would desire all that for myself. Like Shah Rukh Khan says, no, in the song, the Yes Boss song, Bas itna sa khwab hai. But I think what I've understood is that it's good to be, it's good to have detached attachment. It's great, you aspire for all these things,
Right.
but don't let it affect you so much that you can't have your breakfast peacefully,
Right.
that
Right.
you lose your relationships, that you
Right.
lose your sleep. So
Hmm.
that balance is what I do on an everyday basis. I make effort to keep that balance. And I'm very insecure and scared of losing my originality.
Hmm.
That's why, even though it's been 7 years that I came into the industry, till date, I've not gone for any transformation, any look change,
Hmm.
I've presented myself in a different way, because I'm very scared and I'm very insecure that I lose my original self. So I'm like, it doesn't matter. I don't have to be in the rat race, or I don't have to be on the page of every magazine or every cover. I'll go at my own pace, but I'll grow as me, as 100% authentic, original me. So the offers also, the opportunities that come to me, they see this energy in me and they take it. So it suits me.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, yeah. So they don't I'm okay with the flow, I'm going with the flow. Yeah, a lot of times you end up doing roles which you are not very happy with, but beggars can't be choosers. So I think for a beginner, you have to go with the flow. Yeah.
Well, I don't call it beggars can't be choosers, but from what you have told me, I see a very strong personality who's aware of what kind of choices you're making. And I mean, you have even termed it as insecurity, but I wouldn't go that far. I would see it as clarity. I mean, it's rare that people having this much of clarity on what to do and how it should not impact me. What the clarity is in the sense people should know what not to do. What to do is
Yeah.
second. That part you've clearly established.
Actually, it's a good point, because my mother tells me that right from high school, I've been more clear about what not to do than
Mhm.
what to do. I would always tell
Mhm.
her, I said, Amma, I'm not doing that for sure. The
Mhm.
elimination method worked for me
Right,
somehow.
right, right.
So I think even now, without knowing, maybe I'm practicing that. Yeah,
Ah.
ఇలాంటివి మాత్రం చేయను. మేబీ ఇలాంటివైతే పర్వాలేదు అన్నట్టు. It started off, but now, Aryan, I feel now, now that I'm done with 2 kids, I'm done with that part of life, and I want to really build consciously. Now I feel I must manifest things according to my
Hmm.
choose and over
Right.
5 to 7 years. I observed closely the things. There are things I'm happy with. There are things I'm unhappy with. After taking note of all that, now I feel nothing wrong in writing your own dreams and your own
Right.
stories, and leave it out in the universe. If they
Yeah.
fulfill, great. Otherwise, you'll learn something from it.
So moving on, ma'am. Working one job is usually hard enough, and you have two. I think three. One is your job, taking care of first kid, taking care of second kid. You have two kids. Do you feel overwhelmed, or and if you are, what is your stress outlet? Is there? I mean, because it's all bottled up, right?
Yeah, actually, three is common calculation, but I feel my calculation is each. They say every mother does the job of 12 people. Basically, parenthood is equal to 12 jobs, it seems.
12 jobs.
So the
Okay.
care of the child morning every 24
Hmm.
hours
Hmm.
చూసుకుంటే it's a so 12 jobs plus 12 jobs plus my own job. So that's a good 25 jobs then. No, no, jokes apart, God's grace actually. After I had my children, I gained a lot of weight, and on screen, there's a particular look that people expect, because for years together, we have been conditioned to see that a woman has to look this way. So after I gained weight, I was not very confident. I thought I'll take a break and then get back. But God has been very kind, and I got a lot of opportunities. I said, okay, fine, let's go with the flow. Yeah, that's how it happened. And my stress busters are basically, actually, my stress buster is the fact that we have gap between projects. See, in our field, we do a project and then the next project doesn't come the next day itself, right? There's usually a gap between through
Hmm.
films or what, or at least I plan my life in such a way where I'm not slogging off every day and losing myself.
Hmm.
And when I'm home, all the time goes off to both the children. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay, ma'am. And I want to ask this. Okay, you're a dancer first, right?
Yeah.
And what is that one lesson in dance that you do not forget even today? You applied probably in your real life, probably in your screen acting as well.
Mm. Very interesting question. I think the power of expressions, the power of facial expressions. It is impactful in dance, it is impactful in real life, and it is impactful on screen as well.
Mhm.
Everywhere it has its own beauty. The sheer skill of expressing your emotions through your face, using your face as a medium, I
Hmm.
think is a very, very powerful way of communication.
Right.
Like even with my child, I realize, toddlers, if I talk to him in a strong tone, it'll be different. If I talk to him in a soft tone, it'll be different. So I think this is something I've observed in both dance and acting. The power of, like when we're doing a film and then they do a close-up scene on you, and it's a very intense scene, just through the eyes you have to emote, or just without any
Mhm.
dialogue, you have to
Mhm.
find that very powerful. Yeah.
Right. I have a follow up to that actually. See, I'm an actor too, ma'am. I did theater, but
Okay.
one thing I did is it's a blessing in disguise that I've watched a dance called Kalinga Nartana Tillana. You might have known Tillanas, the entire thing, and I regretted that I haven't started my acting career with classical dance because I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. When I
Yeah.
speak about Kalinga Nartana Tillana, the expressions when Aruna Sriram does this one, the Kaliyas, it just comes down. I have seen some performances which will give nightmares to actors. It
Yeah.
was that like
Yeah.
that. So my question here is, do you see the advantage of uh, such background over other actors, or and also who approaches whom for advices on acting or on a particular expression?
I think an integrated approach is yet to arrive, Aryan. I feel
Hmm.
it's. I'm sure at the university levels or when you have acting workshops at theaters and all that, you get to interact with people. But I think theater, film, and dance are basically three different streams, and influence. I mean, cross influence will be there because the base of all that, if you look at Natyashastram, that's the base of everything, right? It's the
Mm.
base for theatre also. So, yes, background knowledge helps. Yes, studying the art form helps. But ultimately, it has to be clubbed with an opportunity that will completely utilize your skill. So
Hmm.
if a Samrila Bansali is coming and telling me that, Ashita, you have 15 years experience in dance, right? Come on, show me. That is a great golden opportunity for me to show the world what I have learned.
Right,
But
right.
until that opportunity comes, I'm afraid it will be confined to only conversations. So somebody, the filmmakers also must have the orientation, like how a K. Viswanath Garu used to look at. He
Right.
loved music and dance so much that he made 20-25 films just on them,
Yes, yes.
right? Nobody could match up to his practice after that. So today, all of his films are Animutyalu and they all serve as culture documentaries each in
Definitely,
themselves.
definitely.
So మనం చూసే ఆ 3 hours ఒక్కొక్క విశ్వనాథ్ గారి మూవీ చూస్తూ we can learn so much. We can actually make notes. We can pause and make notes on how he put the frame,
I'll
how
tell
he
you
showed.
one thing, ma'am. I'll tell you one thing. We have done podcasts on every film
Oh,
of K. Vishnadev. Every
oh
film we
wow.
have covered.
Please send that to me. I'd love to see.
Yeah, it's in our channel only.
I'll
So
look it up. Oh,
sure, sure.
that's very good then. Yeah.
So I totally understand, ma'am. I mean, uh,
I also did a TV show with him where he had to reminisce all his previous films. And I was amazed. We did this in 2015-16. I was
hmm,
amazed at the way he was recollecting those scenes as if it happened yesterday. ఒక్కొక్క ఎప్పుడో 80స్‌లో, 70స్‌లో చేసింది he was like అప్పుడు మేము ఆ లొకేషన్‌కెళ్ళాము. ఇప్పుడు ఈయనొచ్చాడు. కొంచెం ఏదో తడబడ్డారేమో టు రిమెంబర్ ద నేమ్స్ బట్ అదర్‌వైజ్ హిస్ మెమరీ వాస్ ఆన్ పాయింట్.
Hmm.
సో, that's like brilliance at so many levels, right?
Absolutely. So I was thinking like uh, because you are so expert in dances, do people come to you for advices? Is what my question is. Uh, with regards
Dance
to
based.
expressions.
Mm, yeah, so I teach basically. For the last 5 years,
Hmm.
I started my own institute of Bharatanatyam. My friend and I would teach.
Oh,
Before that,
nice.
I was into teaching. So yeah, tutoring people on dance and movement and expressions has been happening.
Hmm,
But
hmm,
specifically, what happened? Instagram became a great platform for me to
hmm,
express myself, and people also sort
hmm,
of connected with
hmm, hmm.
what they saw. So I think people do reach out to me sometimes to talk about to take advice or they say that
Right.
we like your
Hmm,
choreograph ma'am or things like that. That is very encouraging because through
hmm.
social media to reach out, actually thanks to social media, people know that I'm much younger and I'm much bubblier in real than my on-screen characters. They
Right,
look at
right.
the on-screen characters and they expect something else. But
Mhm.
once you start looking at the post that I put there, like, oh no, but basically she's they're very different. So that's the 99.9% of the times the feedback I get is, ma'am, why don't you portray yourself
Yes,
as yourself?
right, right.
More that you can offer, and we would love to see. So that is when this thought comes to me that I wish filmmakers also change this
Right.
typecasting actors. Don't typecast, yeah. Come out of that, explore. The audience is willing to watch. What is your problem?
Right.
So I feel we should not settle for comfort zones.
Definitely. Also, I have one more question following up to that. So, you have talked about what are the advantages, what could have been possibly the advantages of this one. I have noticed a certain disadvantages as well. Tell me if that is true in this case or not. So, I mean, I did a play, Macbeth, wherein a dancer was one of the actors. She was traditionally a Kathak dancer. Okay? So her, I mean, it's difficult. I mean, it's cute though. It's not even an error or disadvantage. It was very cute to observe. So the thing was, she has to say like this, "Get out from here," like that. Okay, so you did this or something like that. She has to point out and like this, and she has done it in a way like this. I mean, the dancers thing will be there, right? The motion will be like
So there
so.
is a fixed grammar that all classical dances have. There are 8 classical dances in India recognized by the government, and all of them have a certain syllabus. If you have to complete the basic level of Bharatanatyam, there's a syllabus that you have to finish.
Mhm.
Similarly, if you have to reach to a level in Kuchipudi, there's a level that you have to finish. Like in video games, you have level 1 and 2.
Right,
In,
right.
in we have different levels, and then people who are serious, they go on to write their certificate and diploma exams.
Mm.
So what happens once you learn the language of Bharatanatyam, because everything is a classicized. So in Bharatanatyam, if I have to offer a flower to God, I'm going to do like this because there is a way
Mm,
you do
mm,
it. You
mm,
pick up the for everything there is a mudra. So you have to pick up the flower with this mudra, and you have to put it. You have to make sure the elbow is up. So
mm.
all these things have to be kept in mind. If the same thing has to be applied in a movie, I'm not going to do this for a movie. For a movie, I'll just do it like that.
Right.
Common thing is you have to keep in mind the camera or the audience facing you. If you're dancing, then you have to be mindful of the fact that audience is going to watch you.
Mm, mm.
So you have to favor your body to the audience in such a way that your expression and the body language they are not missed. Similarly, camera also. I can't turn away from the camera and do my thing. No? The
Mm.
camera has to capture what I'm doing. So, with respect to body language, with respect to stage dynamics, with respect to choreography, there are a lot of similarities. But camera captures everything very. It will capture the subtle. Even if you're not moving, it will still capture some movement. Anta powerful it is
Mm.
versus stage where you wear makeup, you're wearing all the props so that the last person in the audience also can see what you're doing. So basic technical differences are there,
Mhm.
and of course, theater and live shows are extremely challenging because there are no repeat takes. You
Yeah,
have to finish it all in
right.
one go. and that needs a terrific amount of response. And and see, that's what I feel only those who can appreciate that kind of content. See, if to watch a play, you're saying Macbeth. So to watch a play that's for 1.5, 2 hours, people need to be well read enough to know the background story. Otherwise, they will not be interested to
Right,
watch.
right, right.
They should be patient enough to focus on what the actors on stage are doing so that they don't miss. Sometimes there are no dialogues, but you're still making a movement, and that is also an action in the
Mm-hmm.
right? Cinema is not like that. Cinema that way is very catchy. They'll put song, they'll put dance, they'll put so many
Right.
other things to distract you. So it's for the masses. That's why.
Right.
Although this mass class thing, it should just be ruled out. I mean, everything should be there for everybody. You choose what you want to choose.
Mm.
I mean, that's a different story. But basically, what I'm saying is, classical dance and theater or the nuanced arts, they are appreciated at a different level. So people who understand that world will
Right.
appreciate that.
Mm.
Otherwise, it'll all go full toss for them, because I don't think people are today willing to invest. You need to do the homework. You need to do the
That's a
preparation.
that's a sad thing. Yeah, it's
That thing,
not appreciated.
to complete a book, it's not something you post, it's something you do for yourself. You have to shut the door. Even when nobody is watching you, you still have to work hard. And
Mm.
this is the Instagram generation where, whatever you do, you need instant gratification. Nobody's gonna come and give you an award for reading a Shakespeare story, but you do it for yourself.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So, moving on, ma'am. I have seen your other interviews with Josh Talks and all. I
Right.
heard you talk about the criticisms that you have received. And I,
Right.
for one, know that we artists are very sensitive people, and us and criticism don't go hand in hand often.
Yeah.
My question is, at what point can we grow immune to it? What should we let? I mean, even now when I'm doing this interview, definitely there are people who say that you did this good. At what point should we grow immune to it, and how do you do it?
I don't think if growing immune is a good idea, because, like you said, we are sensitive people, and you need to have that sensitivity to absorb what is right.
Hmm.
See, whether it is a compliment or a comment, unless I welcome it into my system, it won't enter. It'll ask for password, so I have to give the password. Only then the emotion will enter my system, right?
Right.
So for good things, when I'm giving the password, for criticism also, I might as well give the password. Let me see what it is doing to my system. You have to first allow the virus to enter the system to know if it is going to mess it up or not, right? So, uh, in that innocence, you take in everything. Criticism also you take, compliments also you take, and after a point, you will realize that whether it is criticism or whether it is praise, both also should not throw you off the building. Let
Right,
the
right.
praise not make you feel like you are Aishwarya Rai. Let the criticism not make you feel like you are a loser, right?
Right,
So just be smart enough to take both of them with a pinch of salt. It's very important.
right.
And there is a saying, actually, I don't know if it's a saying, but I remember somebody telling me, they said, if you want a balance in life, then you must know how to take avamanam, not just sanmanam.
Mm, 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 mm. Right,
Sanmanam everybody want, but
right,
avamanam how many people can take?
right.
So if somebody insults you or if something goes wrong, it should only help you find yourself again. So in a way, in the long run, that is also helping you.
Mm,
Just
mm.
like how praise is giving you the
Praise is
needed,
yes. Right.
right? So I feel a healthy balance of the two is very important. If I'm surrounded by only bhajan party who will only just say nice things to my face, I don't know if that's a good idea. Or if somebody who's constantly taking away uh, your piece of cake and is making you feel miserable in life, that is also not correct. So I think you need to be smart enough to balance the two.
Yes.
Actually, we should first understand where we stand. So
Mm,
let's
mm,
say if in a certain scene my performance is, in my case, in my eyes, let's say I've given myself a 6 on 10 for that performance.
mm,
So if somebody gives me an 8 on 10, I'll feel happy.
mm, mm, mm.
But if I am estimating myself at 9 on 10, although it is only 6 on 10, somebody gives six, I'll feel
Yeah,
so.
yeah. We need to
Mental
understand clearly.
money.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel a lot of people are living in a bubble because they either overestimate themselves or they underestimate themselves.
right.
So
Absolutely.
to estimate yourself according to the external validation or according to the public, especially we are in a. I was just talking to my mother also, who is a doctor. I said, Ma, the difference between your fields and our field is that in all other fields, your validation or your report card or your end result is decided by your seniors, and there is a set pattern that's given to you.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in our case, our end result is directly decided by audience.
Directly, yeah, right.
Our report card comes from the public only.
Absolutely.
So for to what how the public rates you over time will give you an idea of where you stand. And I can't be in denial.
Right.
I can't say "No, Adanta way." So I feel being close to truth is very, very
Very
important. You must accept that, when a certain character person comes with a certain physicality and they tell you this is what suits you, you
good.
must somewhere give that filmmaker that benefit of doubt, that credibility that okay, he sees some point in it. And maybe it is that attitude which has helped me depersonalize myself from the characters that I play. Because today, at 35 years, if I was able to carry off a 55, 60-year-old recently in Yatra to somebody in that age group, almost, one and a half or times or double my age, if I was able to pull that off today as an actor, I realize that's a golden opportunity for me to portray because so many people said that, at a young age, how could you show that maturity? So if they were able to see that, if they actually believed that I was that old, and then they saw me in real life, and when they see me in my normal self, why on the sets only? After I changed into my normal attire, I would just wear my kurta. I remember Jiva, all of them were like, "What? This is how you look?" I said, "Yeah, this is how I look." So that's the magic of camera.
Right,
That's the magic of cinema, and
right,
that's the magic of
right.
uh,
Understood.
celluloid.
Understood. Uh, next question: what are the kind of roles that you are looking from the industry? Like we talked about typecasting, we talked about all these things, and what are the kind of roles you want to do? And is it easy to get what you want in the film industry?
I'm a huge believer in old world charm, yeah. Nenanta, So I'm always about taking me back in time. So
Uh-huh.
I always feel characters that belong to the old world go back. Black and white is also okay with me because we have enough people to represent the Western culture that is coming
Yes,
in.
right.
Or, we have enough. I mean, all of them are going that way only, right? All our songs
Definitely.
also, all the Punjabi influenced. I mean, most of the
Definitely.
rappers are from UK. So I mean, the culture. There are enough people doing that. So I feel at least some of us should make an effort to
Right.
bring back how a
Absolutely.
woman was viewed 50 years back.
Absolutely.
I would love to play those characters. I would love to. Of course, being a modern woman is great. I am living in 2024. I am
Right.
doing things people do, but nothing like. So I would say representation of the Indian sensual woman of the earlier times, a complete woman.
I'm
So
going to do this because uh, believe me when I say this, I think on the same lines. That song in the olden days, how beautiful it was. Today it's just music, it's just noise. Even the woman, I mean, when I look at Suhasini, when I look at sorry, Suhasini Garu, when I look at Radhika Garu from Swati Kirnam, Savitri Garu, I mean, the kind of respect that you show to them, that's a different ball game.
different ball game altogether.
Right.
So I think both the people who are watching also must change their sensibility, and the ones who are portraying also should understand that there's a lot of beauty in being natural. You don't have to succumb to the pressures around.
Yeah.
Just I feel I maybe I'm a little generous. My husband keeps teasing me. "Adenti neeku andaru nachesa." I'm a little generous. I feel a woman by design itself is a very aesthetic thing.
Yeah. You don't
So
need to.
you don't have
I mean, I feel when something is added, why did you do this? Plastic surgeries and all. Oh my God, what fun.
again, like Shruti Hassan says, it's somebody's choice. I mean, if they have their reasons to do it, we must respect it.
Yeah.
But if they do it, it's fine. If they don't do it, also it's fine. But
Right.
it's a personal choice. And personally speaking, I can't resonate with that. As of today, no, I don't connect.
Yeah.
And also, like I said, the people who are looking for authentic or కొంచెం sustainable kind of living అలాంటి వాళ్ళకి
Mhm.
they're automatically drawn towards looking at more natural actors.
Mm, mm,
So
mm.
for that section of people, I think they're very happy to watch
Right.
people like me.
Definitely.
Oh,
Definitely.
acha, there is somebody on screen to represent that. You don't have to.
Right.
That prim and proper thing is, that pressure is not there. Any, at least some of us should be there. I feel who do that. Yeah.
And
Otherwise, it will become like a herd mentality.
absolutely, absolutely. So, by the way, you're back after a family sabbatical,
Yeah.
motherhood and all. What did you learn during the break, and how are you renewed now? Did that change anything?
I think this is not an exaggeration, but in every way, it was a rebirth for me. I had two children, and I
Oh,
also had COVID during my first child.
oh,
So
yeah.
I think I'm far more serious about, after sitting at home for a good 2 year, 2.5 years, you suddenly value the first project that comes to you.
Definitely.
So yeah, yeah. Now I'm a lot more serious about my work. I'm a lot more
Mhm.
professional. When Bahubali came, I hadn't even shot for one film till then. It was my first film. It
Yeah.
was my in the Atalo Telisi Telugu, and I was just smiling. I didn't know the series. Had fun, yeah. It was my first film. It was a good experience. Now I realize the impact of it. Oh my god. I was
Mm.
bloody lucky to get that as a first film opportunity.
So, yeah, this is a Teddy Q. Sorry, ma'am. This is a Teddy Q. I mean, Teddy Q as in Teddy is asking the questions. Irwin,
Okay.
Teddy is asking this question. We
How
will-
did you come up with this character, Teddy? Hmm.
Uh, not, he's not a guy. I mean, Irwin, our Irwin, that guy is
Oh,
asking this
acha,
question.
Edwin is Teddy. Okay,
Irwin,
okay.
Irwin, acha. He's asking this question, not me. Okay.
Okay,
So
okay, okay.
whatever is written on this, I am reading as it is. If
Okay.
anything is coming up which you don't like, blame him, not me.
Sure,
I'm not
sure,
taking
sure,
ownership of this one. Okay.
sure.
So Teddy says, I am yet to meet Rajnikant, but I see Rajnikant every day in your WhatsApp DP.
Okay.
In your eyes, I see Rajnikant in your eyes, it seems. Uh, what is
I'm just like what, like feel happy and say yeah, oh, thank you. Is it? I don't know what I'm supposed to say to this. I'll ask Irvin only. Irvin, what did you mean by
definitely.
this?
What is the best compliment you have? The reason why he said this is because there's a follow-up question to it. What is the best compliment you have received till date on your magnificently magnetic eyes?
The one that I received 2 seconds ago. But I think in recent times, Chiranjeevi Garu was very, very generous, gracious, and he was very, very generous on his compliments. And one of them was about the eyes also.
Right,
Actually, majorly it was about the eyes. So I think
right.
Chiranjeevi Garu cheppin tarvata, I'm like, oh, there must be some truth to it. Yeah.
This part also is his thing only. He's saying,
Okay.
"Love you, ma'am." Mwah. He did this.
Yeah, I love you too, Erwin. And when I be working together again, because we worked on a project some, I think, 7, 8 years ago. No, no, sorry,
Mhm.
6 years ago.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, it didn't see light of the day. But I'm really
Mhm.
hoping to work with him soon. Please tell him this. Is he going to watch this interview? I hope he will.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Before uploading, also he'll watch this one.
Okay, okay, super.
It's going
Uh-huh.
to him. Okay. So,
Lovely.
the last and final question of the day, ma'am. Um, how's the day going to look like when Ashrita Garu is going to say, Ammaya, this was enough for a lifetime?
I never thought of that day actually. So
I'm
it's a good
glad because this question I thought it all by myself. I can-
After asking the question, now you're giving the disclaimer. No, this is asked by uh, oh, if that day comes, I really hope I. I mean, I should have worked enough to be able to say this, but
Mhm.
honestly, I I think this idea is an illusion. I don't think it's going to happen.
Hmm. Oh, wow. I see what you mean.
I don't think విశ్వనాథ్ గారు కూడా అనేవారు. ఒక ఆర్టిస్ట్ అనేవాడికి సాటిస్ఫాక్షన్ రాదు, ఉండకూడదు. He would always say that. He says, no matter you give Oscar best performance also, and the rest of the world may, give you Talia, but you'll still go and you'll say, no, I could have done this
You
better.
could have done this better. Yeah.
Voice is always going to be there. So I hope that is only an illusion, yeah. Unless, I mean, philosophically speaking, that inner voice comes and says, okay, your time on earth is over, something like that. But other than that, I feel, I really feel, even if done with one aspect of acting, there's something else that I'd like to be engaged with.
Hmm.
And because I've kept many doors open. There are live events. I've done television. There's
Mhm.
my own institute. I love teaching. I love engaging in different workshops and stuff like that. So many things are there to do. Yeah, yeah.
Right, ma'am. So that's all there is for this interview. Thank you for joining us, ma'am.
I hope you enjoyed talking to me. I
Well,
was
I
just going
enjoyed
on.
it a lot, ma'am. I hope you enjoyed at least some
It
parts
was
of it.
good. Like ఈ హడావిడిలో, I think it's very important to pause and reflect.
Mhm.
Pausing and reflect. It's like you're going on a journey and then you pause, you look back and you're like, oh, okay, I've come this far. Okay, now let me look ahead and walk again. So I think interviews like these are. So is this going to go on your YouTube channel? Is
Yeah,
that
it
how it
is. It
works?
is. It is. It is.
Oh,
It is going to.
great. Great, great. All the best to you and Irvin. And let's hope after some time we can have another conversation.
Sure. Thank you
Maybe
for
you can
joining
bring in
us.
another artist and then we can have like a roundtable
Oh,
discussion or
definitely,
something.
ma'am. We actually have that. We call it audience roundtable. Uh,
Okay, great.
and we did a bunch of audience come together and we discuss on films or their impact or all these things happen on our channel. So
Great, great.
if you're interested, I'll definitely call you, ma'am. I'm glad.
Yeah, sure, sure. Keep me posted. Keep me posted.
Definitely, ma'am, definitely. First
All
of
the
all,
best to both.
thank you for joining us.
I really
And
enjoyed it.
audience, that's it for today. We have our lovely Ashrita ma'am here. I hope you enjoyed and took something home to, as Ashrita ma'am says, to just look back on your own self. Every week I do this. Every week I have a guest with us, Aryan Talks, and it's almost serene to. I mean, it's almost beautiful to say that every week when I have a guest, there is definitely a lot to learn from each of them. And today, what I've learned, what I've seen, is something else. So I hope you enjoyed this interview. That's it. By the way, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. This is Aryan.